Hey everybody, Anthony Molinaro here from Music XT. I'm excited to talk about the session I'm presenting at the Dalcroze Society of America National Conference, January 13th, 14th, 15th. I hope you're planning on being there. My session is going to be on Saturday morning, January 14th at 10:05. The topic is all about my method of teaching solfege in my elementary classroom using Dalcroze principles. So I hope you can be there to share that with me. So I was going to give you a little preview here on the Substack, just a little bit of a taste of what we'll be covering. So teaching solfege for me as a Dalcrozian has been sort of an interesting journey because my own experience with the Dalcroze solfege has been sort of informative here. I remember having the realization of what the Dalcroze solfege meant to me and how it immediately had a ripple effect into the way I had started teaching it. It all has to do with this Dalcrozian idea of embodied experience. So what does it mean? I think with things like rhythm, it makes more sense. What's the feeling of the beat? What's the feeling of a meter? What's the feeling of eighth notes? These sort of rhythmic ideas make a lot of sense to incorporate embodied experience. But with melody and harmony, it was a little harder for me. And one of the ways that I found it to be really useful is to really start to try to experience the difference between tonic and dominant. And so there's a series of lessons that I do to try to allow the students to arrive at a sensation for tonic and dominant. And so this is a bit of a snip of an activity that I'll do with young children. At Carnegie Mellon, I have these giant picture windows in which the children often can just kind of look outside the windows. And so we'll stand by the windows and we watched the snowflakes falling. And I ask them to watch those snowflakes fall. Find a snowflake that's floating particularly gently down and follow that falling snowflake with the energy of your body. And it's interesting to watch the students sort of emulate this floating sensation. And I might play a little bit of floating music, something like, I don't know. The piano's a little out of tune. Imagine you're a snowflake that's floating in the clouds. It's not falling to the earth, it's just sort of floating up there in the clouds where it's with all its other snowflake family. Floating so comfortably. I have a little song I do, it goes like this. In the clouds. In the clouds, in the clouds, give yourself a hug. Oh, go ahead, hug yourself. Give yourself a squeeze. Squeeze yourself real tight in the clouds. In the clouds. In the clouds. In the clouds. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a squeeze. Squeeze yourself real tight in the clouds. So here we've got this floating sensation. It's sort of open and floating, moving through the tonic, the subdominant. I'll even throw a minor, make sure I throw a minor in there. But then notice that difference on the dominant 7. The children notice it right away. It feels more tense. And this is why we use emotion that feels more tense. And then, after I do the song a few times, now I'm going to improvise on the melody and I'm going to change things. And see if they notice, ooh, that's the one. And then resolve it. Now I might change the order of the chords a bit to really make them listen for different qualities. I'm changing the whole structure of the song now. And see if they notice that one is the dominant. We can move on to a different part of that lesson. And at the conference, I'll show you how I build that into my super do re mi trichord activity. So I can't wait to share this with you at the conference. If you want to register for the conference, you should follow the link. Go to dalcrossusa.org, and we'll see you in Cleveland.